G with it be is Mr. Bubblegum Man, female's favorite, Slim Derry Doughboy, corporate gangster, St. Louis MoneyNow, DJ MoneyNow himself. So yeah, man, shout out to everybody that's tuned in, man, and that's been tuning in to the movement, man. You know what I'm saying, the Wifeable Podcast. If you haven't done so already, make sure you follow the Wifeable Podcast and go over there to YouTube, man, and subscribe to the channel. We're on a mission to get me to them 1,000 subscriptions. So yeah, man, so shout out to our previous guests, shout out to our current guests that's gonna make their way in. Let me see where he at. Let me see real fast. Hold on real fast for me. Oh, yeah, shout out to everybody though. Hold on. Let me see something. Hold on real fast for me. That's me talking. Yeah, shout out to everybody though. Alright. Peter Parker, what's poppin', bro? I'm waiting on our special guest to get up on here. Let me see. Let me see what we got up in this mug. Oh, there she is. There she is. All right, let me send you an invite.
Hello, how you doing?
Yo, what's poppin'?
I'm doing good.
Excellent.
How
I'm
about
excellent.
yourself?
You know what I'm saying? Great to have you on the show. And I know we on the times, what you call that, time limit. So pretty much I'm gonna get the show started, okay?
Absolutely.
All right, cool. So, you know, for those who just tuning in and never tuned into the episode before, I just want to let y'all know, you know what I'm saying, this is Wifeable is a non-judgment free, you know what I'm saying, judgment free, you know what I'm saying. These questions I'm about to ask you is strictly to let other heterosexual men like myself, you know, let them know what's out there, who's looking for a woman who they might find worth their time and consider wifeable. So, you know what I'm saying, this is what it's all about. So with that being said, let's start with some icebreaker questions. I guess, you know, let the people know your name, how old you are, you know, where you from, zodiac sign, what you do for a living, shit like that.
My name is Dalia. I am 32. I'm in Aquarius. My birthday is February 17th. I'm originally from Khartoum, Sudan, which is in Africa, for anyone who doesn't know. I grew up in the Twin Cities, and I am a technical healthcare technology recruiter. I am a model, an actress, a producer, and a director.
Okay. Got a very lengthy resume, I see. So I want
Absolutely.
to know if you had to choose one word to describe yourself, what would it be and why?
I would say kind, and probably just because I'm always willing to help others, like no matter what. So
You say kind? Okay, I like
kind.
that. So define what a wife is in your own words.
Um, that's a hard one, but I would say definitely someone who is like willing to go through thick and thin and just kind of like withhold through whatever with their partner. So, a life partner, just everything, your other half, I would say.
Okay, all right. So in your opinion, what qualities do you have that makes you wifeable?
I would say definitely like great communication, um, just understanding and being available. Like everyone's busy, but everyone makes time for who and what they want. So even through like a busy day, like I can still give you the attention that you need and want. So,
All right. So like, tell me about your ideal honeymoon.
definitely somewhere on a beach, somewhere warm. Just no work involved, just kind of like just focusing on us and um, good food, just conversation and a lot of attention, really.
Okay, I fuck with that. So, do you drink, smoke weed, do hard drugs?
Not at the moment.
Okay, okay. So, do you know how to pick the good man from the wrong man?
Um, I wouldn't say I'm an expert, but I can say that I definitely can weave through it. And I think just kind of taking the relationship aside, like what is their character like? So I think I would say overall, yes, like having discernment would be something that helps
Okay,
you identify that.
I like that. So, are you familiar with the five major love languages? Rank
Yes, I
yours
am.
for me.
Um, Gifts is like
Okay,
either one or two. Like definitely, I just like being shown physically like how special I am, or if they're thinking about me, like they're out shopping for themselves and they're like, oh, that would look nice on her. And then definitely like so what are I can't think of them
not
all right now. There's like
yeah.
words
I
of
can break my. I'll give you all
affirmation
five right now, and then
or
you kind of rank them from there.
okay,
So we got
thank
your
you.
one or two gifts. We got words of affirmations. We got acts of services. We got quality time, and we got physical touch.
Okay, so quality time is number one. Number two, gifts. Number three, uh, probably words of affirmation. And then the other two that's
Physical
left
touch
is
and acts of services.
so physical touch is number four, and then acts of service number
Okay,
five.
okay, that's interesting. All right. So like what? Tell me, what do you value most about a man?
I would say like their presence, like how present are they with me? Like, are they listening to what I'm talking about? Because like I'm definitely gonna be talking a lot, like rambling on like, oh, my day at work was this or this or that, or like telling them important little details that maybe I'll be like, oh, do you remember that like a week later? So just like being present, even if you're like not present in the moment, like just remembering things that I say,
Okay, basically like
if
yeah,
that
like
makes sense.
remembering things you say. A good,
A good listener, maybe that's a better word. A
yeah,
good
good
listener.
listener. Okay, okay, I fuck with that. Cause I had
Yeah.
what I do is I had groups like some characteristics, values about men together, and I name them off, and I let the lady, the woman, whatever you want to call her, decide which one. But I didn't hear that one yet, so good listening. So let me throw out those prayers and let me know if any one of those kind of like stand out to you. Okay. So you got education and degrees.
Okay.
You got money and stability. You got looks and dig and stick. You got masculinity and energy. You got wisdom and understanding. And you got ambition and drive. Did any one of those stand out?
Ambition and
Okay,
drive is
cool.
definitely up
Cool.
there.
So what's your favorite physical feature on a man?
I'm gonna have to say like just probably like big hands, like nice big clean hands, you know. I don't know. It just makes you feel like protected or I don't know.
So,
Just big
so if a
hands.
man's hands was the same size or smaller than yours, that's enough for you.
Probably it probably make me feel a little self-conscious, being that I'm not really a small girl myself, so prefer the
Okay.
big hands.
So have you ever been engaged? Okay,
No,
so it's safe to say you never been married either, right?
no.
Okay, so like in the event that you do meet that special person in your life, do you want, or yeah, I would say, do you want legal marriage, or are you cool with like a celebration of love and a ceremony, wedding day, but no legal marriage?
I am totally okay with the non-legal marriage and just kind of like the ceremony. I, I I'm Muslim, so like in our culture, like we don't really even have to do that. Like in most Muslim countries, I don't think you have to go to the courthouse or anything. So I'm all I think just traditional, you know, celebration amongst your family and friends, that's more than enough. But in certain situations, I think just you kind of have to do it the legal way here. It just kind of depends on like, I guess like what tax bracket you're in, like just residency situation. So it's kind of like I'm against it, but if it comes down to it and that's what has to be done for the bigger picture, then obviously
Yeah, no,
that's what I would do.
I'm against it as well, and that's why I be asking women that question because, we don't need it to be legal to me for us to love on one another. Because at the end of the day,
Exactly.
I speak to a lot of people, and I know those who actually went down that train and got divorced. They ain't looking to get married again. You know what I'm saying? They looking to just, you know,
Yeah,
that type of shit. But yeah, that's neither here nor there.
exactly. It seems messier to like, just undo all of that. But in certain circumstances, you might have to because, like, say, if they live in a different country or like you're trying to get them citizenship to come here and whatnot. So even though we're against it, we might still have to like alter that, do if it's that very special person that will make us do that,
Yeah, yeah,
because it'd be like the only way to bring them here
yeah.
or
I see what
something.
you mean. So, like, what's your thoughts on
Yeah.
prenups?
Um, I am definitely for prenups, especially just being that I've kind of like worked really hard to get where I'm at. I feel like, and I don't base my relationship or like when I look for a partnership based on like how much money they have or like their education level. I don't think those things are very important because I feel like if you're that type of person, that woman who can bring that out of them, even if they're like just got out of prison or something, you can like actually uplift them and they can get right where you're at in a couple of years with the right support and love and all those things. So I think prenups are important because they protect people that have worked really hard and from people who have alternative motives or like really good
Yeah.
actors, you know what I'm saying? So I think they're necessary if you have a vision and you know where you want to go in life and you just want to protect yourself.
Yeah, I love the word you said, actors, because man, whew, both men and women be boy,
Yeah.
they give Denzel.
You meet their representative, you know what I'm saying? You meet their
I
representative
like
at
that.
first.
Look at.
So
Okay. So what's your thoughts on divorce?
um I really don't mess with like I don't believe in divorce just like being like the culture that I grew up in. It's kind of like you're just like locked in for life. There's like probably only like one thing that would really make me even consider it. It's probably like infidelity or something like that. But I feel like there's ways to like heal from it. So divorce is really not an option for me. It's like once we're married, we got to work through it through thick and thin, however we got to do this, counseling,
Would you say
whatever.
welcome to Death Row, huh? Ain't no getting out.
Basically, exactly.
Okay, so like, what's your thoughts on abortions?
Yeah. Um, I feel like that should is on a case to case basis. Like I'm not against it, but I'm not for it. You know what I mean? I feel like you can't really just tell a whole group of people no and then, not understand the background behind that person's decision. So I feel like it should be, on a case to case basis and what's appropriate for me or what I think is legitimate may not be for the next person. So, but if we're talking on a traditional level, I don't think back then they really had abortions. You kind of just had to like deal with it. So
No, that's real.
I think we live in a very innovative world that kind of too many choices makes things confusing, but then not having choices also makes things confusing. So it's like that's a tricky one. I think, like I said, case to case
Okay,
basis.
like I said, no judge.
And there should be a cutoff. Like there should be a cutoff. If you're just going and doing it like every other time you make a mistake, I think we should focus more on like sex education versus, people just not understanding the options that they have because there's so many options prior to that bottom line, that last step.
So you think we should have like a three strikes you out rule?
Yes, definitely. Two strikes. I don't know, but if it's just like your number one means of birth control, like you probably that's not
Yeah,
healthy.
I feel you on that. So in the event
Yeah.
of, marriage, whether it be legal or whatever, what I'm saying, are you getting your last name hyphenated? Or are you taking your husband like?
Man, see, my programming is so different because like I said, I'm foreign, so I'm from Sudan. So, like, the
Hmm,
women don't change their last name. So, all of these things are like my programming is one way, and then being an American and growing up here has changed some of my thoughts or just like caused me to kind of reevaluate some of these things. So, it's like I don't think I would want to change my name just because my mom didn't. So, I don't know, probably no. But if that was like a deal breaker for him, then yeah, we can work that out because it's not that important if it's gonna make or break the
okay.
relationship. I'm flexible, is I
No,
guess what I'm trying to say is I'm
that's why I asked,
flexible.
like, would you hyphenate it since you're not,
No, hyphenated is just that's too long. Like
I,
who?
I mean,
No,
shit.
that's
Hey,
just too hard.
I'm asking because I know there's women out here that's like, yeah, I'm hyphenating my last name. You know,
Yeah, it depends how many letters
the
and
last name
how
itself and
long
shit.
that looks and how that sounds. Yeah, I'd probably just take his name though.
Okay, that was up. So what's your thoughts about men with children?
It just depends on how old the children are. It depends on, uh, like I said, case to case basis. Like I am the most non-judgmental. Like I'm open to hearing like how did you get here? You know, like why are you in this situation? Because I do understand that males are victims of a lot of situations like this where they end up, just not having that upbringing that's teaching them so many fundamental things that are very important when you're, seeking love or just getting out there and having
All
sex
right,
with
okay,
people.
okay. All right. That was up. So shout out to all our viewers and our listeners. You know what I'm saying? This will be syndicated on Hot 365 Radio. So this is that portion of the show where I tell everybody, if you haven't done so already, follow the Wifeable Podcast and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And shout out to all our people commenting and shit like that. I see the comments. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I see y'all. Keep them coming. So my next question to you is like, do you feel like you a gold digger?
Definitely not. Kind of wish I was, but I'm not.
All right, so like if one of us has debt, does it become our debt or is more like, still individual?
I think it does become your debt, especially if you're going to be legally marrying them. Period. It becomes whether we want to admit it or not, and that's why I don't agree with legal marriage. But it does kind of become yours because it's like y'all can't really build together if you know they just got all this child support. They can't travel. They can't get a passport because they owe child support. So it's like yes, it does become your problem, and if there it just limits you.
All right, okay.
So you got to be willing to understand like all right, what's your credit score, what's your debt like, how can we knock this down together, etc. Like you got to be willing to work with that partner to if that's someone you really want to build with. These are realistic events and situations.
So would you consider yourself to be a free spender? Yeah,
You said free
free spender.
spender. what
Like,
what does that mean?
say you had $1,000 to your name, you go out to the mall and spend that whole $1,000, and now you broke. Are you a free spender?
Um, I'm spending, but I'm definitely not like I'm still figuring out like, all right, what else do I have to do that's important? But I don't look at numbers or like money as something that's gonna stop me from, I'm gonna just figure out how can I get it right back. That's really what I'm thinking about. If I'm gonna spend it just as fast as I'm gonna spend it, I'm gonna figure out how am I gonna make it just as fast or like what do I gotta do to invest some of this real quick to get it right back. So if I'm gonna spend it, I'm gonna get it right
Okay.
back.
All
Period.
right. Yeah, sound like a free spender to me. So
Yeah.
like would there be like a limit to your spending before you consult with your husband?
Okay, that's why I didn't answer the question
I mean,
correctly. Now we're talking about husband
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
asking. Okay,
Cause
I
I
get
got to
you.
see,
I get you.
we got to know your
So,
habits first before, you know what I'm
I
saying? Cause your habits is your habits. You know what I'm saying? You can't, I mean, you can
yeah,
change it, but people
yeah,
gonna be who they is.
yeah. I think I'm gonna talk about it first before I go do it, so that even if I'm not asking for permission, he knows it's coming. I'm not gonna just like do it behind his back. Like I'm gonna just keep throwing in little hints like, oh, I want this Gucci
But just
bag. I want this Gucci
pop
bag.
up with it and
And if
shit.
I come across the Gucci bag, I go get it. Exactly. See, I told you I wanted a Gucci bag. Like, what the heck?
Okay. So, so I want to know, do you have
Yeah.
any anger management issues?
Um, I could say I used to, and I've been, actively working on it. But yeah, definitely the short
Hmm.
answer is yes, but they've
Okay.
improved.
Yeah, you don't give me the energy like a anger management issue having a woman, you know. But I appreciate your honesty though.
Yeah,
So like,
yeah. Just don't make me mad, and then you might see that side of me.
looking at now everybody got that side. Everybody got that side. So I want to know like what are some of your toxic traits?
I think this can be toxic, like over communicating.
I like I see what you're saying. Like if somebody get it and you still talking about it, like kind of be like you nagging at that point.
Yeah, yeah, that or just like giving out too much information, like telling them about your past, like certain shit you just don't need to speak on, like just don't bring it up, especially like if you're newly dating, you kind of learn like, oh shit, I told that guy about my ex or like about the last relationship I had. Sometimes it's just not necessary. Like you don't need to disclose every piece of your past. Like only communicate what's important and then don't talk about the past like too
I got it.
much. Even though you're trying to be transparent and you're trying to like build like a connection with them, but then it's like they can use it against
Or
you
you
if
might
you're
say the
over
wrong
communicating.
shit. Motherfucker be like, hey, she said what?
Exactly, exactly. Exactly. Being too transparent without like getting to know them first. Like, oh, is this person gonna use it against me
Okay.
or you know.
So can you control your mouth when you're angry?
Definitely not. Definitely not. I'm saying whatever is coming to my head, and that's definitely an issue I've had in my
Okay.
past.
So have you ever caused a big scene in public? Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Matter of fact,
Definitely.
yesterday looking ass.
Definitely. For real. But no, I've been working on it. I've
Okay,
definitely
now I'm
got
glad
better.
you're working on it. You know what I'm saying? That's great. So in the relationship, husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever you want to call it, uh, in your eyes, in your opinion, what would be flirting to you that your man would be doing with another woman, online and offline? Look at
Everything. Just
looking
kidding.
at her. Look at it.
But no, like right. I feel like just like being secretive about it. Like I don't care what you do, but just like being sneaky. I can't stand that shit. Like if you're gonna like people's pictures, whatever, just do it. Like don't be like acting all sneaky, like hiding in the corner with your phone and shit. Like be yourself, like exactly, or just like doing weird shit. Like if that's what you do, like you want to admire other women or whatever, just like let it be known, like, hey, like this is my friend or like this is her from here. Just like communicating about that. Cause it can be flirting if it's like secretive, but it what if that's just their personality or they work in an industry where there's a lot of beautiful women around. Like, you can't just be jealous. You got to have that conversation with them and communicate with them and make them feel like, hey, if you feel like there's someone else out there, like I want to know versus you doing it behind my back and like be their friend so that they can show you like, oh, look at her, blah, 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 just try to like not scare them like, oh shit, she's going to cuss me out if I do this or if I text my baby
Right.
mama or something, like You just don't want to do that because they're going
Okay.
to do it
Okay.
anyway.
So honesty is the best policy with you. All right, that's what's up.
Exactly.
So I want to ask you, do you ever feel, or do you feel it's ever okay to call a man a bitch?
Mm, I don't think it's okay. I don't think you should, but I've done it. I do it sometimes. I don't do it now, but like I've done it like maybe 30 days ago or so. You got to watch your words because like some people they don't take that
Mm-hmm.
very lightly at all.
Yeah, not for real, for real. So I wanna ask you too, like,
Yeah.
have you ever been shot at, stabbed, or jailed for a major crime?
I'm gonna go
All right, bet.
pass on that one.
Are you vaccinated?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Okay.
I
So
am.
what's your relationship like with your father?
I would say we talk every day. Like I call him every day just to, see how he's doing and stuff. I would say it was kind of like an authoritative relationship. And I think as we got older, he realized, like maybe that wasn't the best way to go about it. I think I still have a lot of respect for the things that he instilled, but it was not it's a good relationship, but it wasn't just like open door policy where other people like they can just do whatever around their parents and stuff, even though now as an adult I can, but it wasn't that transparent, it was more like they were just scared. They didn't want us to like conform to American culture and stuff, so they were just trying to protect us, which I understand now, but I would say that just like throws you off when you feel like oppression from your parents all the time, like they're not supporting your goals and your dreams or something because it doesn't align with their culture or their beliefs or something. But then if you just try to show them otherwise, maybe they'll come around and y'all can still build a healthy relationship as you get older. But I would say good overall because he was definitely a great father. But like when it comes to the communication, apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Had to do a lot of like unprogramming those behaviors that were learned from him. Just the communication, like shouting instead of using like normal voice and just all those things. So I would say overall good now,
Okay, that's what's up.
but definitely over communicating and just like being overly present, that can be something that's not healthy. And I think that's what it was for me and him.
Okay, that's insightful. What about your mother? What's the relationship like?
She's amazing. Like she's always been very open, like very caring, nurturing, just like just there. Still to this day, talk to my mom every day. Like very close to her. She like we can just tell her whatever, and she'll be more understanding than my dad, definitely.
Okay, so I want to ask you, do you think your career is more important than your family?
Um, I don't think it's more important, but I feel like no, it's not more
All right.
important. No,
I do.
and
I was gonna say I do
I
want to hear what you
go
was
ahead.
gonna say though.
I was gonna say sometimes family can get in the way of your career, so that's why for me it's like I had to get away from that because it wasn't helping me get where I want to be because they just didn't understand
Yeah.
it. So sometimes your family can be your
No, see, when
downfall
I was thinking family,
and
I was thinking more,
your
like in the, whenever you have children and shit like that, you become a mother. Like at that point,
mm,
does your career override your family, or is it the other way around?
yeah. See, I don't have kids, so I feel like that's that's gonna be a tricky one, and that's why for me I just like didn't want to get involved with having kids or being tied down to that because I knew that my career was more important. Because how can you take care of a family if you don't have anything? You know,
Hmm.
like how can you still chase your dreams? I mean, a lot of people are doing it. It's just not my ideal situation because it just gets in the way of like chasing that or just being available to do what you want to do, especially in entertainment. It's just a setback, really. Respectfully to those who are still, doing
Okay,
what they need to do.
that's what's up. So I want to ask you, who would be considered the prize in a relationship, in your opinion, men or women?
For me, I'm gonna definitely go with probably the man because there's so many women. The
Mm.
ratio of women to men is like triple or something. I don't know the statistics, but I do know that if you're a man who like is like not a cheater, like you're holding it down, you're a great father, that's really hard to find these days. So like really it's the man because everybody else is going to want to be like him. He's the leader. He's, like leading the pack, and his influence is going to be what creates the offspring that's going to be like that. So the male figure is very important, and just he is the prize at the end of the day because as much as the women are there and stuff, it's like there's a million other women that can do the same thing you can do. Just to be
That,
realistic, there's so many options when it comes to women. Like,
yeah, look, I just want to say,
but
first and foremost, I want to say that's the most like commendable answer I done heard on this show since the history of this show then started. And I want to say that you are my first foreign guest, foreigner. You know what I'm saying? Like on the show, as far as like where you was, where you from, your roots. I know you like an American now, but I'm just saying like in the sense like from Sudan and like and it, maybe that's that you talk about the programming and shit like that from over there and over here, and it's like I said, you're the only one that just said this shit. So it kind of just like it's mind blowing, like because all the other women, oh, we both the prize or women the prize. You know what I'm saying? Nobody really like broke it down like that. So that was refreshing to hear. So I want to ask you too, like,
my
I,
pleasure. They're like, don't tell this man that. I'm like, that's my opinion.
yeah, no, that's real though. But she say she's just kidding though. Um, so
Yeah.
do you like to be cold approached by men? And when I say cold approach, meaning like you could just be out and about at the grocery store, getting little zuzus and wham whams, and then a man come up to you and start talking to you, trying to hop down on you and shit like that.
I mean, when I was single, I would say like it was kind of weird because it depends on like where you're at. It's like, bro, I'm just trying to like get my groceries and go. It depends on like what, like how they approach you. So I'm not against it, but I just think there's a time and a place for everything. Because at the same time, if you're just like got your nose all up and you're just like, I don't want to be approached, like, but I'm single and I've been single for 10 years. It's like, okay, well, you're unapproachable. Maybe there's
So
something you need to
so I
change.
noticed I noticed you
So,
said when you was single. Are you saying you're not single no more? Okay, okay. I
no,
didn't
I'm
know. That's
not.
why. I, okay, so
Yeah.
do you like children?
Um,
Say I think yes.
I think yes. Yeah. I mean, like I like them, but it's just a responsibility. So it's like I want to do it when I'm ready. When it's like I don't want no surprises. Like, you know, especially because I waited this long. So it's just something early on. I knew like that wasn't the route for me. I think it had something to do with culture. I was just like, if I got pregnant, like my parents would kill me. Like that was just my first thought process. Like,
I
not
feel
happening here.
that. So
So
yeah, how many times you been pregnant?
yeah, I
That's
haven't.
what's up. Do you know if you can have any?
Yeah, I think I
Okay.
can.
If you had to put a number on how many star seeds, offsprings you want to call them, how many would you like?
I would say five boys
You
to be
want
exact.
boys, huh? Or you don't want no girls?
Yep. I'm not against them, but I just feel like if I instilled some of these qualities that I like know about or like just experiences into them, then we would have more powerful men. Not saying that we don't. I just feel like it's just so hard these days to date as if you were a single woman because I know I was single for like at least 3 years before I got into this relationship. And prior to that, it was even harder. Like, it was always hard being like, knowing like, okay, this is what I want. I want marriage. It's like I was like the only person looking for marriage. It's like, it just felt like either people had really crazy backgrounds, like their mom was like not there, their dad wasn't there. It's like, just there was a lot of trauma. So it's like I just want to be able to have like a healthy setting for 5 boys to like, reproduce and continue the legacy in that way. So
Okay. Nah, I fuck with it.
5 boys.
So
Yeah.
like, how we schooling those 5 boys? Is we doing private school, public school, homeschool? How we schooling?
Definitely like some type of virtual situation, or like homeschool, at least until high school. I think that the younger ages are like really important, and that's where you get your foundation. And especially like if you want to teach them other languages, you gotta do that early, because if you don't do it early, it's like they just forget their culture. And for real, I would want them to like live overseas to like see what life is like out there, or just kind of get cultured and not try to like conform away from their roots, because I feel like if it's not given to them in the proper way, it's like they rebel against the culture versus knowing their identity, knowing who they are, and embracing it. Because like the media is trying to change us. Like, you go to school, you meet other kids, their moms and dads are not as present, or this and that. So it's like you want to control the environment as much as you can. And I feel like sometimes just going into public schools, at least for me growing up, that was the only option. My parents didn't really have money like that, so they just put us in whatever school they could. And especially growing up in Minnesota, there was no culture. There was barely any people of color. So that can really be traumatizing. So controlling the environment is very, very important, at least until they're like mature enough.
A wise man once told me, the first to the mind is the winner. So I want to know, what's a deal breaker for you in a relationship?
I would say cheating. Definitely cheating. And I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm
I
talking
was
about
just
physical
want to
cheating. I'm
say,
not talking about likes on Instagram. No,
what's cheating
like
to you?
consensual sex.
I got you.
Sex. Yes.
Okay. Have you ever cheated?
No.
Yeah,
I have
never
not.
gave that pussy up to another nigga while you was in a relationship.
No. I mean, I would. No, not while I'm in a relationship. No, definitely not. I don't do that. But like on some like breakup, after the breakup or during the breakup, like the short term breakups where you get right back with them, just on some like just get back bullshit. Yeah, definitely. That was game back then. It's like, don't fuck with me because I'm gonna get you. So like I just try to get away from those behaviors and that mentality. It's just toxic. Like, and it's not healthy, especially for a woman. It just like breaks you down. So just try to avoid all of those things. And it's like, if you were never a cheater and then you get with a cheater, you kind of learn their behavior. And it's like, damn, I'm you. I'm doing the same shit that I just told you I don't want done to me, just trying to level down to your what's normal for you. This shit
That's
ain't normal
real.
for me. This is not my
And on my other
environment.
podcast, FEMALEHOLIC, I teach men well, we talk about accountability, not encourage men to have accountability, because us men being the leaders, our women is gonna do what we do. So exactly what you said, and that was like, that's like, you just confirmed it. So all my fellas listening and tuning in, we got to lead by example. So if you don't want your female to get her lick back, don't lick her back first, I guess. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, exactly. Especially if you're like a what's the word? Submissive woman, because every man wants their woman to be submissive, obviously. You know what I'm saying? So if you're asking for submission, then you want her to listen to you, and she's following the behaviors you're teaching her. You're teaching her all these bad things that you're doing. She's going to be twice as better at it than you. She's going to go fuck your friend or your dad or your brother. I don't know. I'm just saying, you just don't want to just play in that field, especially if she's like a woman that's like a good woman. It's usually the good ones that go through that. It's not just like the everyday girl next door that's been doing the bullshit, you know.
Okay. So you know everybody lies, right? And so you know
what's that?
Everybody lies, right? What kind of liar are you?
Yeah. I really honestly maybe just like I would call it like a white liar or something like that. I don't know. I don't like lying. It's just like I'm gonna tell you what it is. If you like it, great. If you don't, that's for you to figure out. I'm very transparent. Like that's one of my number one like qualities. Like
Okay.
period.
Transparency. I like that. Okay. Little white lie.
Yeah.
So do you feel like you have to be married in order to perform the wifey duties?
No, because if that was the case, then I should have been married like 3 relationships ago. So no, because it's like it's just you got to be smart as a woman, I guess, because we just live in such a different age. Like back then, it was different. You know, now if you don't do it, another girl's gonna do it. So like you got to pick and choose how much you're willing to do. So you just got to be careful because a lot of these men have trauma and they don't, especially black men. And whether that's an African black man or like whatever, any type of colored man, like we've been through a lot as people of color. So sometimes you have to show them love that they've never seen before. So you got to be willing to, you know, just put your pride to the side, maybe cook a couple meals and like just show them if that's who you're fighting for.
Okay.
Like if that's who you got your eye on.
That's what's up.
It's a lot of different upbringings nowadays. It's like there's so many different, like, too many different scenarios.
But it goes back to what you were saying about all those fucking choices we have nowadays versus like in the past where you're a man or you're a woman. You know, nowadays you could be fucking a cat. You could be whatever the fuck you want to be.
Yeah,
So
exactly. You have so many options.
All right. So now that was very interesting that you brought that up. So I want to know, do you feel like you need a man?
I would say definitely you need a partner, like you need a man. The need is different though. Like I don't need him to like breathe or you know like that type of need, but you do need a partner, especially like the need is different though. You know, it's like support. It's more like intellectual or like not physical need, but like emotional needs. I think more than anything, at least for me. So it's more of you just need that male protection, whether that's just verbal protection or physical protection or just anything. You just need it in that way. Not necessarily, like I said, physically for sex and stuff, but
right. No, but that was
especially working in media.
True, and that's a huge component. You know, what I'm saying, the protection, the provider. So yeah, that's a great answer. Very wifeable. That was a very wifeable answer right there.
Yeah.
So do you embrace being a strong, independent woman, or do you embrace having the strong, independent woman mindset?
Just the mindset. I don't want to be a strong, independent woman when it comes to like, I don't want to be a single mom. I don't want to do it on my own. Like, I just don't like that. Just not ideal for me. It's like I can only be as strong as I need to be for that day. It's like I don't want to take on 2 different people's roles and 2 genders. Like I don't want to do that. I want to like stay in my lane, do what I'm supposed to do, and like cohabit together in a partnership. But in a new modern way, not like how it was where it's like the woman sits at home, homemaker, sits at home, cooks, cleans, and doesn't do anything. And then the man goes out to work and comes home. Like there has to be a different, a fresher perspective on that, because now women can work too. And honestly, I don't think people can survive with one income nowadays. Like how it used to be. Like you need more money to do anything.
That's true.
And you need the man's help just as much as the woman.
That's real, because I feel like it just depends, because a lot of people nowadays try to live above their means and they try to keep up with a certain lifestyle. And all that shit is just like bonus and extra. Like, at the bare minimum, we need shelter, something to eat, something to put on our backs and feet. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but we just, with all those options, we're going back to the options and the abundance of options and choices we have nowadays. Like, it does complicate a lot of things, because, had we just, like I said, those bare necessities, I think we could do it. I think a lot of people can do on their own end. I think they could do it together. You know what I'm saying? It's just those lofty goals, which ain't nothing wrong with, because we are, abundance is our birthright. So, I understand. Tell me, tell me about your like your ideal husband. Like, if you had to create a husband, like what would he be like?
I think just support, like emotional support, is very important for me, and someone who just like encourages you and pushes you, and they're like, like they're just your fan, like, oh, go, like go do this, go do that, bringing opportunity to you. It's not about how much money they have. It's not about the career they have, the education they have. It's not about any of that. At least for me, I've actually found that it's the opposite. Because when you're, say, like you're only seeking men that have money, right? Their mentality is not focused on trying to get a woman. They're too busy. They're doing other things. So unless you're a woman that's like in that same category or caliber of career, you're probably never going to be in the same space as them. If you think about it realistically. So unless they're like online dating or strip clubs or wherever type of environments people meet, but how real is that? Like, how they're not going to marry you. That's not realistic. So it's probably best that you find someone who's on your caliber, who is kind of similar to where you're at, doesn't necessarily like have to have all the qualities that you have, but maybe they have a great credit score and a stable job, and they're committed to whatever it is that they do, and you're following your dreams and chasing your dreams, and you have a job and stuff too. Like, there's a way to like find someone that is a match for you, that isn't necessarily like a PhD master's degree holder, because unless you're that too, like how can you be expecting that? That's what I don't get. Like, a lot of people are like expecting this unrealistic person, but it's like your credit score is like 550. You're talking about you want a baller with, it just doesn't realistically make sense to me.
And to I think I can sum that up perfectly for you, because I like I said on my other podcast, when I talk to men, I just encourage men to get somebody that fit into their lives. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can't be you can, but we know how this shit going in. You know what I'm saying? You could be if you saying, for example, I use myself. If I'm a DJ, why in the hell would I be with somebody who don't fit within my lifestyle? You know what I'm saying? They might work at a daycare or something, and it's like schedules we never really can see each other. It's just like, it's, you know what I'm saying? But if I find somebody within the entertainment industry, music industry, whatever the case may be, they don't necessarily have to be a DJ. They could be some, whatever, PR. They just got to understand the lifestyle to where it ain't, damn, you leaving again? You know what I'm saying? Those type of conversations, like, shit, matter of fact, you come with me type shit.
Exactly. Yeah. The long term has to align with each other. Like, if they don't ever feel like leaving the house and, you know, you're going to events and stuff, it's like, that's not going to work.
Right.
So
But
it just has to be in alignment. Find a couple, three major comparisons or similarities and just work off of that. Doesn't have to, no one's perfect and people
all the
change. So,
time. That's the only thing that's constant is change.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
have you ever been in love?
I would say definitely yes.
Okay, so when was your last
Right.
relationship before this one?
It was a long time ago. It was like at least 3 years ago before that. Like I spent a lot of time being single, and I think that's why I was blessed with this relationship because I took a lot of time to get to know me and what I was looking for, and I was able to identify what that looked like. So when I did find that person, it clicked. It made sense. You know what I'm saying? It I just I I saw what I wanted and I saw what I thought would work for me and I, you know, sought it out. So, but it took a long time of healing, of, you know, getting to know me and understanding what's gonna work and having a realistic idea of that, not necessarily like what the media is telling us.
Right. I feel that. So like who ended the last relationship? You did or he did?
Um, it was a weird situation. I wouldn't even call it like a real relationship. It was like it lasted maybe like 4 months, but it was just like we only seen each other maybe like 6 times out of that whole time, and they just like kind of ghosted me like on some weird. I think it was too much for them. Sometimes, you know, as a woman, it's like we know what we want, so it causes a man to like run away. So I think that's really what it was. Like they just kind of like and they lied about a lot of stuff in the beginning, you know. So I feel like I didn't ask enough questions because like when you're getting to know someone, you should really take your time and ask the right questions because you can say like you don't care, but at the end it's gonna like destroy what you have if you're not asking those
Yeah,
questions.
it's real, and this is kind of like
So
to help with that, you know. So not in the sense of you know, whatever the case may be, but like just conversations like this, you know, and questions. I tell my viewers, I ask the hard questions, you know what I'm saying, like questions that motherfuckers probably wouldn't want to ask on the first time meeting somebody, but you want to get to know somebody, at least get that.
yeah,
So like, so would you ever
exactly.
marry outside your nationality or race?
Absolutely. My partner right now definitely, you know, working towards that. I feel like um someone from my nationality, it probably wouldn't work because I'm too Americanized, you know.
Nah, that's
So
real. That's real. I'm glad you aware.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So like, I want to know, like, do you know what straight man who desire a wife, what we value in a woman?
Um, I can
Yeah. Go ahead.
guess. I think someone who's like communicating and who's there, like available emotionally, physically, all of that,
Sound about right.
present.
Okay. Like I said, I ain't here to, you know what I'm saying, try to criticize and change mind, change answers. I'm just asking the questions. All right. So I also want to
Yeah.
know, like, what do you think makes a man feel loved?
Attention,
What kind of attention?
like just just putting them first, making them feel special, um, eliminating like any sense of jealousy. Like if you know that would hurt their feelings, like eliminate it. Like if you know what they don't like, work towards like keeping that away from them, you
Yeah, that
know.
was a very, very great answer. That's actually probably some of the best answers I've heard. Because a lot of women they be like, I don't know what y'all want. Y'all don't, you know what I'm saying? But like you took a guess at it and it was actually you know, on point. So like I want to ask you, like, is sex important to you?
Yeah. I think like just being physical with your partner is important. It's healthy. If that's, you know, somebody especially that you want to spend the rest of your life with, like it's gonna be what kind of molds the relationship. It's like the glue because it can fix things in certain occasions,
Yeah.
you know. And it also just it's another type of connection that you have to have with your partner, because if you're not satisfied in that way, why would you be with them forever? You're going to be thinking about other people, and you know, like just it just doesn't sound like a good idea.
So, have you ever had your heart broke before?
Definitely.
So,
On multiple occasions,
no.
I would say. Yeah,
So,
definitely. You kind of got to go through the heartbreak to get, you know, to the healthy, to something
no
healthy at least.
pain, no gain, huh?
Exactly.
Okay.
You gotta, these days, you gotta weed them out, you know, like you really gotta go through a lot, it seems, for women. Like, I don't know any women that are just like, oh yeah, here I am happily married. Like, I don't, at least in this age group.
Okay, I feel that. So I want to know, like, do you consider yourself to still have emotional wounds that's open, or have they healed and become emotional scars?
Um, I would say more on the healing side. In regards to scars, I don't know. Just I don't look at them that way. I feel like I never held my past into my future. Like I never was like, oh well, all men do this. Like that was never my mentality, because, and I think I'm just so thankful to have in front of me what that looks like, because my parents are still married. They've been married for like 37 years. They're still together. My mom's only been with my dad. So I think that's really where I get that from, even though my experience was so different from theirs. And really, I didn't have to go through all the stuff I went through, but I chose that route, you know. But that's why I am where I am right now with the mentality that I have. So I appreciate both, you know, but it just, you just got to go through it.
Okay. So like, what's some of your
And I was going to say, I can actually go a little bit past the time if I want to finish this conversation. I like the energy that this
yes?
conversation is
So before
having.
I ask you the next question, I did, and I appreciate that, and I appreciate you actually, using your break time to actually join the podcast. So I want to ask you, like, what's your thoughts on the show, and like, what was you anticipating before you came on, and like, what's your thoughts now that you're on?
Honestly, I didn't know what to expect because I didn't really watch any of the streams, but I knew that there was a lot of like women who are like strong, independent, doing like their thing, because I saw the flyers and I was like, all right, cool. I fit that. And then the topic of relationships, like I just love talking about relationships. So I felt like I just wanted to be a part of this conversation because it's something that means a lot to me, and it's been a very big important piece of my success mentally, physically, all of that, because I felt like that's what I was missing to get where I needed to go. And now that I have it, I can kind of like speak on it. And I'm not saying it's like, oh, I have everything and it's always been like this, because no, I had to go through a lot. So I felt like if I can share some words with others and it would help them in any way, like I definitely want to be a part of that. So I'm glad to be here. I appreciate the opportunity. And I was thinking, I'm like, how did he find me? But it didn't matter because I'm like, I definitely want to be a part of this, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Well, yeah, I appreciate that feedback. I most definitely do. So I want to ask you, like, what's your
yeah.
triggers?
Um, I would say like a lack of communication, or just like being ignored, or just shut out. Like those are definitely my triggers. Like if I feel like I'm just, whatever's on your mind, you're not speaking it to me. I would rather you tell me like, hey, you know, I'm not in the mood today. Let's talk tomorrow. But like just shutting me out, because communication is one of my best traits. So it's very triggering when I feel shut out or ignored.
Yeah, you probably hate being with me because if I ain't want to talk to you, I don't want to talk to you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because the thing is, that's
Yeah.
like what I realized. Even if I chose to do what you just suggested, right? Okay, just tell me you don't want to talk to me. Don't ignore me. All right, text. Hey, I don't really feel like talking right now. You're gonna continue the conversation. You're gonna keep trying to like get more. Why? What's going? You know what I'm saying? Then it's like, damn. Now I'm talking to you, and it's like that's not what I wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's kind of like
Yeah.
you know, I don't know, but yeah, that's tricky right there. But
I would say that's more of a face-to-face conversation, like letting them know, like, hey, like if you tell me like I don't want to talk, or if you text me and you want to talk but I don't want to talk, like if I say don't talk, like that means like don't text me no more. Like I have this really bad habit of it's lame, but I want to give everything I'm eating to my man. Like I want to be like, here, try it, like eat it, like. And he's like, I don't want it. Like, stop fucking giving me shit. I don't want it. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, I want you to taste what I'm eating or whatever. Cause like I cook. So like I'm always in the kitchen making shit. Like, so for me, it's like every time I have something, I want him to try it. But to him, he's like, I don't want to try it. Stop it. Like, so it's like, we just have to communicate about that. It's like, okay, I get it. Like, you don't want to try what I have, but why is that? Because I'm like, in my culture, it's kind of rude if you don't share what you have. So he understands now it's cultural. It is not me just trying to force or control or be like, possessive to him. It's just more so like cultural. So we're just learning a lot of our programming is our cultural, and we just try to communicate about that and figure out, okay, well, if it really bothers you, then I'm going to stop doing it. But I can't help that this is who I am.
no, that's real.
So just understanding the person.
Okay, I fuck with that. So like I want to ask you, like, how many times have you been sent to the clinic?
I don't think I was really sent to the clinic ever, because like I just early on, like I told you, like I already knew like that was the deal breaker with me and my family, like not even gonna try it. So I just automatically started practicing healthy skills. And just in the school that I was in, I remember like they had us in 7th grade, like you could fill out this form where they could teach you about sex education or they couldn't. And I remember like I snuck behind my parents' back and signed myself up for like the one where they do, because I was just interested in it. I wanted to know what they were talking about. And I felt like a lot of the kids that were like cool kids, they were kind of like gonna go learn about it. So I wanted to learn about it too. And my school, they did a good job of teaching people like some of these things. So I appreciated like in school learning about it, like in 4th grade, learning about periods and stuff like that, because I know at home those weren't conversations we were really having. So in a way, the public school system, it does kind of help when at home, those options aren't
Nah, that's real.
available to people. So
Okay, I feel with that.
yeah. And now it's like you can go on TikTok or whatever. Kids have more knowledge. So it's like there should be no excuse. There should be no reason why a kid is not educated on certain things. It's like there's adults around them everywhere, unless there isn't. There's enough knowledge and information for people to stop, to break some of these cycles now. Like there's
Yeah,
no
but
excuse.
the thing about having all this access to all this knowledge, it is information overload. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if kids experience that because they be on go all the time. So that's interesting study to look into.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you:
Yeah,
have you
that
ever
is.
been in a domestic abusive relationship?
I would say yes in
Okay.
the past.
You ever had OnlyFans? You got any
No,
sex tapes out there? You got any crazy
no.
exes out there? She's on the Bradley.
Sorry.
But yeah, so like for this podcast, Wifeable, I have 2 parts. Like, so that was just the questions. Then the next one's the segments. They should go by like this, probably less than 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So before we go on, I want to ask you what you think so far.
Your questions are like damn, okay, you did a lot of research, and I like your questions because for women, it's gonna make them like really think like, dang, like what kind of woman am I? What am I? And if you're not wifeable, it's gonna make you want to figure out how to be wifeable unless that's not your goal in life. So I feel like it's definitely eye-opening and more people need to hear these topics and conversations, and especially that you're a male, because there's so many podcasts out there where they're like women led, but like you're taking that narrative and making it your own. So I appreciate that, and I think you got to continue to
I
keep
will,
doing
and
this.
I appreciate the feedback and the
Yeah.
spinoff coming too, as far as like the flip version of it. You know what I'm saying? Where I have I put a female host in position to bring men on the show to see if they, and I can't release the name right now because people watching and shit like that. I ain't got it all the way together. But yeah, so yeah, the spinoff coming
Yeah.
too. So yeah, because ultimately I want to help. I didn't been on both sides of it. You know what I'm saying? I know the ugly and I know the beautiful. So I want people to experience the beautiful because I know a lot of people never have.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm
So are
single,
you
ready to
single
mingle.
or?
You're looking at.
Oh, okay. Okay. I had to ask because
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
you
and
know a lot of
that's what
information.
with me
So
knowing so much. I think whoever she is or might be, she got like, cause like my standards like not ain't through the roof, but like I know what I want, and it's like a motherfucker could disqualify themselves like this quick. You know what I'm saying? So but I try not to. I be realistic. I know nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm not gonna sit here and try to portray that, but ultimately, like I ain't dealing with no foolishness from a woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so yeah, she got
yeah,
to be down
absolutely.
with the process of my
Yeah.
progress, or she can be gone. So, but yeah.
Hmm.
So the segment. So this first segment is called This or That. You ready? All right. Clean
Yep.
shaved or bearded?
Mm,
Taller than or
bearded,
shorter than?
tall and thin,
Older than or younger than? Hairy or
older
not
than,
hairy?
uh,
Protector
not
or
hairy,
provider?
protector,
9 to 5 or entrepreneur?
mm, nine to
Rappers or
five,
athletes?
athlete,
Interracial relationships or same race relationships?
interracial,
Wine or tea?
T,
Talking on the phone or FaceTime? A creative
FaceTime,
first date or an expensive first date?
creative,
Matching fits or color coordinated?
matching fit,
Lighter complexion or darker complexion? Smoker or
lighter,
drinker?
uh, drinker,
Hickeys or sexting?
uh,
Doggy
sexting,
style or missionary?
uh,
Squirter or cream?
missionary,
Squirter
what?
or creamer?
Okay,
Oral or
creamer.
anal?
I'm done with these questions. Oral,
Yeah, so that's this or
oral,
that. You know what I'm saying? You see how they got, hot as they
yeah,
went along. Okay, so
yeah.
next we have Would You Rather, all right? So would you rather have a man with all the riches in the world but no time, or a man with no money but the best sex you ever had?
I don't like this question. I don't like this one. That's like
Yeah,
a
like
rock and a hard
which one
place.
would you rather do?
They both sound like they
I mean,
suck.
depending on how you look at it, depending on what you value. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay, I'll have to answer one. I'm gonna go with the
So a
first
man with all
answer.
the riches in the world but no time for you.
I don't know.
or a man with no money, but lay that pipe down on you, best you ever had?
I mean, is there
What you mean
time
time?
with that? I don't
I mean, yeah, I mean, obviously,
like.
he just ain't got
Do
no
you
money.
get their time?
Yeah, he just
Okay,
ain't
I
got no
guess I'm
money.
gonna go with that
Good.
one
All
then.
right.
I'm gonna go with that one.
Okay, okay. That
I'm
was
gonna go
up.
with
So
that one.
this next one is called it's a newer segment of mine. It's called Best Impersonations, right? So it's like a fun segment. I want to know give me your best impersonation of a black girl.
I don't want to do this.
All
Pass
right,
on
cool.
this one.
Next segment, double standards. So just pretty much tell me, is it a double standard in your opinion or not? Is it a double standard? Is it a double standard having is this a double standard pretty much? A man having multiple wives versus a woman having multiple husbands.
Mm, it's a double
I'm
standard.
asking. Is it
Yeah, it is a
okay,
double
okay.
standard.
So yeah, pretty much that's the segments part of the show. Like I said, it was quick, fast, and easy. So yeah, I appreciate you for coming on. You know what I'm saying? Tell the people where they can follow you on social media.
At Dalia the Nubian.
Okay.
That's on TikTok, Instagram, all of that.
All right, cool. And any last questions, comments, or concern for me before I let you go?
No, thank you so much for inviting me on. I had a great time. Love talking about these topics, and we'll definitely be sharing your flyers and your show for others
Appreciate
to
that.
see.
Appreciate that. And if you were able tonight, pop out. You know what I'm saying? I got the Hip Hop Fraternity Networking Mondays tonight. If you want me to send you the flyer, I can. All right,
Absolutely,
bet that. Bet
definitely.
that. Yeah. Well,
Yes,
I appreciate
please
you and
do.
enjoy the rest of your day at work. All right. All right. Talk to you later.
Yep, thank you. Bye.